Welcome to the Evolution Magazine live series. It is Thursday, January 21st, 2021, and tonight we are broadcasting live from Fresh Green Dispensaries in Lee Summit, Missouri. Our host, Eric McSwain with the Missouri Cannabis Industry Association, will be interviewing owners Rob and Bianca Sullivan and the patients they serve. Our show will get underway in just a few moments, but first, a word from our sponsors. The Missouri Cannabis Industry Association has been our longest-running show sponsor, while providing quality education over many topics in partnership with area cannabis professionals. MCIA is dedicated to a free cannabis market to create supplies and prices that are patient-friendly, with initiatives to support adult-use cannabis, to protect home growers' rights, and expand the caregiving program. Go to mocia.org to learn about memberships, to learn about their certified caregiving program, and learn how to get involved. Thank you, MCIA, for being a show sponsor. Illicit Gardens is Missouri's leading licensed cultivators, focused on bringing the finest cannabis flower and products to the medical market. Illicit works with local and national advocacy groups to support the release of cannabis POWs, while bringing responsible medical cannabis use into the mainstream. Check them out on Instagram at Illicit Gardens to learn more. Fresh Green Dispensaries, currently open 6 days a week in Lee Summit, Missouri. Rob and Bianca Sullivan started Fresh Green Dispensaries to help patients gain access to quality medical cannabis. Through the months of November and December, they have donated medicine to patients in need and given cash discounts of over $125,000. Check out the website freshgreen.com for hours, current menus, and availability. Tonight's video is provided by Cat King Films. Check this out. Cat King Films is offering promotional content, commercials, training videos, wedding videos, and documentary-style video production at an affordable price. A free consultation comes with every project to ensure that it is personalized to your brand. Check out previous projects by exploring the different sections on the newly launched website at catkingfilms.com.
Hello, Evolution friends and family, Missouri patients. We are shooting live here from Fresh Green Dispensary. We have a great show for you guys tonight. It's our first time shooting live from a dispensary, and we have host Eric McSwain with MCIA. He's going to be interviewing Rob and Bianca, the owners here at Fresh Green, and the patients they serve. Before we pitch it over to them, I want to say thanks to our sponsors, of course, Fresh Green Dispensary, MCIA. MCIA has an amazing patient caregiver program if you're wanting to learn how to grow at home, or if you're wanting help building contracts with your patients. They can help you out with all that stuff. So check out them. Check out their website, mcia.org, or I'll let Eric pitch that here in a minute. I probably got that wrong. And then, of course, Fresh Green, thank you guys for sponsoring. Tonight we're going to be giving away 2 free gift cards to Fresh Green Dispensary here. So to enter that competition, just tag a friend in the comments, and you both get entered to win. You can tag as many friends as you would like, and you get continue to add, get more chances to win those gift cards. And then, of course, Illicit Gardens, thank you for helping us with this show, for sponsoring it. You can now buy their flower here at Fresh Green. They just got their first batch on Wednesday. It is the best flower in the state right now. Trust me, I got some last night. Tried a little of the gelato. Had a great night last night. So swing by here at Fresh Green. You could try their product out. They have lots of other products as well. Fresh Green was the very first dispensary to open up on the west side of the state. And they have a great customer base. They really care a lot about their patients. Every time I come here, I see Rob out talking to the patients in line or talking to the patients in the lobby here. They really care about their patients, and they're really setting the tone for dispensary owners out there on how you should treat your patients. So that's it for me. Real quick, actually, let me say thanks to Cat King Films for helping out behind the camera, and then James with Level Up AV. Helping us put this together tonight. If you guys need any video production work, reach out to us. We'll get you in touch with them. Without further ado, let's pitch it over to Eric with MCIA and Rob and Bianca and Brenda.
Well, hello, everybody. This is a special night for me. I am a visitor at Fresh Green right here in Lee's Summit, and it's amazing art. It's a good atmosphere in here. I've just kind of been sitting back and watching since I've been here, and you know, the store's busy and everybody's running around, but everybody's getting the attention they need, I think, and that's sort of the story I want to feature here tonight with our owners, Rob and Bianca Sullivan. So nice to have you.
Nice to be here.
And we're brought in a patient here tonight, Brenda.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
I am great.
Awesome. Well, I hope you can give us the very frank details about your relationship with your local dispensary. I've heard good things so far. So,
Yes.
well, maybe why don't you tell us when was the first time that you met Rob and Bianca?
I think it was, a week or 2 weeks before they actually opened. I turned around and saw that this was going to be a dispensary, and I wanted to come see where it was. And they answered the phone and told me to come over, and they could show me, the front half of the place, and they were gracious, and they let me see it, talked with me. They got me signed up, and they were very nice. I mean, he helped me back to my car.
Awesome. Love that story. And so, I mean, I think that's a huge example. I got tingles a little bit there. I mean, for sure. But was it that initial meeting that really told you this was your spot?
Yeah, because I mean, that's the personal touch, It's not, let's just be selling this stuff and giving it out,
Sure.
He takes time to show you, what pain you're going to go through, what you need. These are things that you could use, you can try.
Mm-hmm. Did you have to go through a big process to sort of pick what helped you best, or?
No, it's still in progress, but I mean, Rob is pretty good at showing me what I can use for my back and so forth, and it's been helping.
Very nice.
I won't go nowhere else.
I love it.
I'll drive for 45 miles, almost 50
Is
miles.
that how far it is for you?
From Warrensburg, yeah.
Very good. Well, thanks for making that drive to come see us tonight.
Yeah, I love these guys. I just won't.
That's it. Glowing
I'll call
recommendation.
them and say,
I love it.
I call them and say, okay, what do we have? Don't sell out.
Save some for me.
Yeah,
That's
save
awesome.
some for me. I'm on my way.
And is this why you are in this business? Is this why you're doing it?
For sure. It's great to see, to help patients and things like that. I mean, we have some patients who don't pay at all, other than have it run through the system and have it taken off their limit, if they can't afford to. And the rest of us and those of us who do pay full price, subsidize that sum, which I think is just fine. I don't mind subsidizing on my end. And people have been leaving money at the register. It's kind of caught on, where they'll leave money and say, I'm going to leave this $60 for someone who can't afford everything they need.
And so you actually have a fund that can help for those sort of things, right?
Yes, yeah.
But it was one patient just came in one day and said, "Can I pay this forward?" And none of us kind of really know what to do.
Really?
We were like, "What do you mean?"
Okay, so busy
out of
first
nowhere.
week or what?
It was about 3 weeks in or
Yeah,
so.
it was a little bit in.
Okay,
it was a little
okay.
bit in, and we just, it was unexpected, sort of out of nowhere, and so then I mean, we've never had it out. We don't tell anybody, but people, yeah, we have. And then if people come in,
Yeah.
I'm short this much, and okay.
We like to,
yeah,
we've always liked
been
to tell people,
interesting to see.
one of the things we pride ourselves in is the fact that we have never turned anyone away because they didn't have enough money for medicine, if
Right.
you really needed it. We've never turned anyone away. I mean, like I said, I've had guys who are discounted to zero and it goes off their limit. I've had guy who said, well, I brought $20, can that get, what can that get me? And an eighth is much more than that, and that's our smallest size right now, so discount it down to something way below 20 to get the tax up to be under 20, and one pays $20 and then he can feel better. So we're really happy to do that, and the community's been real supportive of us in supporting the store and allowing us to do that. I mean, we either discounted or gave away medicine to patients like that in November and December, close to $150,000
Wow.
in discounts and giveaway.
Wow.
These,
That's
in those months
great.
alone.
these people here are, I mean, they're great. I
And
mean,
do you get that sense too, Brenda, as you come in? I mean, this really sounds like it's a community effort.
Yeah,
I mean, have you gotten
it
to
is.
know other visitors for the dispensary? Or?
yeah, I've gotten to know other visitors, and I mean, I've found other people that are driving from Warrensburg and other distances, Sedalia, just to come here. And Sedalia has their own dispensary. So if you're hearing people driving away from a dispensary that's there,
That says something.
that says something, you know.
For sure.
To stand in line that was all the way down past Jack in the Box. I mean, that was crazy that day. I was loving it. I was like, cool, go for it. Yeah, you know.
That's good.
I mean, these people were, you know, thinking already about hard winters. They're wanting to get heaters for people, you know, that are having to stand outside to keep them warm.
You bet. You bet. That's amazing. And had you been to a dispensary ever?
No,
So this is
No.
is it. Then.
this has been a dream for me forever.
How did it feel? Were you a little nervous walking in the door the first
Yeah,
time? Or was it more
finally-
throwing your hands up and celebrating?
It was like a dream.
Yeah.
It was
Wasn't
like,
real.
okay, let a cop stop me. I got a card. You know.
Real. Well, don't worry. I think it's going to get better, right? Because
yeah.
you know, as more of our cultivators come online and making
Yeah,
product, and you
definitely.
can really fill up the shelves with
Right.
a wide variety of products, it's going to be like, you know, a medical.
Yeah, if it
Play
wasn't for them
Yeah.
the other
It's
day,
amazing.
I would have been in a lot of pain
Yeah.
because I don't get, I take so many pills. I don't want no more pills. I don't want no more pain pills. I wear a pain patch and I use my medicine from here. That's it.
Very nice.
I went off of the Norco and the heavy drugs. I mean, I had a procedure done the other day. I had ablations done in my back. I have I have 8 Band-Aids going from my middle of my spine down. And when I got done with that, I came home and I smoked my last bowl. And I was like, oh, at least it feels better.
It's true.
You know?
It's true, and it's so amazing that it does work. I mean, not for everybody, for everything all the time, of course, but you know, it does give relief.
Yeah, it does, and it helps me sleep.
And you hear that story a lot. I mean, there's a stigma out there that this is really just legitimizing adult use, you know,
Right.
the medical program.
And it's been, it's been really interesting what we've seen, and even our employees. The employees have seen the same thing. It's the people that actually come in, we have people come in tears that are so happy that dispensaries are open. So not just ours, but just dispensaries, and they're just so happy that this became legal here.
Yes.
You know, in general. And we have people write us letters and that are regular customers. And so it's been, I don't think we really thought it was going to be like that. I think we thought customers were going to be more coming in like, this is what we want, and they're out. And I've been really excited that they actually want to learn, you know, and we have our materials here, we go over them, and they actually want to learn what's best for them. And I don't know,
way more
it's
than
been
I
really
thought.
great. Yeah,
When
much more than we thought.
I thought more like along the lines that we were saying that there would be medical patients, but there'd be a large number of people who are just getting the card, and it's really recreational, and that's like us.
That's not what
Pretty
it's
much
not.
the opposite of what I encountered. I said, wow, here are all the patients. So that's who's
I was really
mostly
surprised.
comes. It's the minority that I think.
But you can see it because a lot of times you can't visibly see it too, and that's what makes it hard too. Because you see somebody, they look completely normal, they seem completely normal, and you don't know what they're at, what they're here for, and so so it's
Invisible,
it's
the
been exciting.
invisible injuries.
Exactly. Yep.
And that's huge. And so, previously without access, you said you took more pills and that sort of thing, but you worked with a physician to back off those?
Yeah, I just stopped it. I mean, in the morning, I take like 15, 16 pills. And that's just in the morning. In the afternoon, I take maybe 3, and at night, I take another 10.
Right.
So, and on top of that, for pain, I would take Norco, on top of pain, on top of muscle relaxers, and so forth. And it's like, no, I don't want any more pills.
Right.
I mean, swallowing pills get to the point where I don't want to do this.
That's right. It's much better if it's a cookie, right?
I like my cookies I get from here.
Yeah.
The cookies I get from here.
Have been going well?
I'm Cookie Monster.
What's the favorite?
Cookie.
Cookie.
But then I do like Kush.
Okay.
I'm a California girl, so
Okay.
if you show me anything from the West Coast blend, I got to go that route.
That's right. And
I'm old school.
it makes you feel comfortable, and most of us don't necessarily even, I'm a patient too. I don't want to get high necessarily. I just want to feel normal.
Yeah.
I want to not have to, bottle this up and try not to limp and all these other things. I just want a little relief from that so I can get through
I want
the
to
day.
be able to stand at the kitchen sink more than 10 minutes. And what's nice is Rob turns around. He even goes as far as telling you, he's taught me more about weed than I ever knew.
Right? Did you know there was all this to it?
I know.
I mean, you're like, what?
There's a new little toy over there. He showed me all the way down. I was like, cool. All the little specks on it.
Microscope.
That's great.
And on the male and female and all that. And I was like amazed, And I love that.
That's a thing? I don't even know.
I love that because you get education behind it,
Yeah, and it's good to understand. I mean, because you can translate that experience, right?
Yeah.
Once you've been educated and been exposed to somebody who's willing to break it down for you, then you're more of an educated shopper.
Yeah. It's like going to the store and buying a car or going to a dealership, what you're looking for.
Yeah, and it's great. She continuously references you personally.
Yeah.
Very, very engaged owner-operators.
Thanks a lot, Brenda.
I saw her as soon as she walked in.
Bianca's spot on. If she doesn't know it, she sends me to Rob.
Between the two of them, right?
I did a lot of Christmas shopping in here.
Okay.
My oldest daughter does not smoke, but she doesn't tell me not to because she knows it helps. And I bought her a coffee mug from in here. And she still loves it. She sits there and says, I don't know what I'm going to do with the smoking part of it, but the mug is cool.
Right,
But I'm going to eventually I'm going to take it back and it's going to be mine. But, I have my shopping experience in here.
I love it. And is that sort of personal touch, is that something you try to, part of your coaching program with staff and that sort of thing too?
I think a lot of them just sort of naturally came into I was really surprised. We didn't have to teach that part really at all. They just, because they wanted to help so much. And we got really lucky with our employees that we've had pretty much since day one. I mean, most of them have been with us for most of the time. And they have, there are patients that they work really well with, and it's almost like small families in here, and so it's been surprising.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They've been really good. We have a great crew of bud tenders. They're really knowledgeable, and compassionate.
Yeah, and that's a personal touch too. I've never been in any other dispensary, so I don't know how they go. But that's a personal touch when you have people walk around with you, and those little things where you can smell it, you can look at it. It's like, try it that way, you know. If it smells good, okay. You know.
Is that a part of your selection process? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's like wine, you know.
Sure.
You gotta smell
Well,
it.
you know, there's an axiom in the industry and the culture that says the nose knows. So, you know, follow it. I don't see that's not a bad deal.
If it smells like liver and onions, I mean, I personally like liver and onions.
I like garlic too. Garlic's a thing these days.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All the different flavors. Now you get
I know
savory,
her
Greek.
weakness now is my Italian cookies.
Yeah, absolutely. They're wonderful.
And when he comes back from his surgery.
This sounds like an inside joke. Okay, tell us more. What's up with the cookies?
During Christmas,
Okay.
now I know he's Italian, and I know being in an Italian family, you have Italian wedding cookies around Christmas. So when I baked cookies this winter, we baked some of the wedding cookies, and I got a tin, and we put assortment in there, and her wedding cookies were in there. I mean, it was like Christmas Day for her.
Yeah, she's a fiend for those cookies.
Yeah. She let her kids know none of those were.
Now you've got a tradition even.
Yeah.
Hallmarks of community again. What do you do?
And on their anniversary of the store opening, I think we'll do something. I mean, you got to do something for the anniversary.
That's true. So, tell me, Brenda, you know, there's been talk about adult use coming around. I mean, what do you think? With the people you know, is that something that, you know, you think would pass, would get a lot of attention? Or?
I think eventually Missouri will go recreational, which I think wouldn't be a bad thing for the state. But right now, I think they need to keep it right here what we're doing right now, because a lot of people are going to abuse it.
Think so?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to abuse it. But if right now, it's a new thing for Missouri.
Sure.
Let's get our feet wet first.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. I mean, I don't know, we could have a discussion about abusing it, but the stigma is still there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
There's a lot of folks who are still warming up to the idea, but as you're helping Brenda and the folks that she knows, she comes home glowing with good experiences and, you know, a better, you know, improved quality of life, then you're changing minds at home too, right?
Yeah, which, you know, there's a lot of old Bible Belt people living in Missouri, and they're still got that, oh no, that's devil stuff, and they ain't got there yet.
Yeah, it still lives.
But I think when they finally see the money coming in and helping, I think that's when they'll change.
Sure. Yeah, the additional tax revenue.
Yeah, because I've been here and I've seen people that are older than me coming in here for medicine.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, once people realize it really does help. Like it really does help you.
It does.
It really does. You know, just like we were alluding to earlier, the people who come in really do need help. It's not a legitimizing, you know, recreational sort of thing. So, how long do you think that'll take? You know, a year, 2 years before that stigma starts to fall? It seems like the trend's about 2 years in a lot of other
It
states.
was also, I didn't think it would happen that fast, that we would have people start to relax when they came in. And we rarely have people come in. They might say, I've never been here before, I don't know what to do. And then we have to, you know, but I mean, we've had very few people come in like, you know, embarrassed, or they're, you know, whatever the situation is, that they're like, you know, not comfortable. And I was surprised when I go into dispensaries in a lot of other states. I mean, it's more male heavy than female. If you see a line, or, you know, once you get in, it's crowded, and I can see that. And I mean, we have women, we have all ages. We have like an 88-year-old patient, and all blended in, and you know, and everybody just seems really comfortable. So I was really surprised.
I think it's gone down
yeah.
since we've opened.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I think it is because when I'm sitting out there in the lobby before coming back here, everybody talks around out there.
Yeah.
You know, and it feels
It's less tense and more casual.
Yeah. And it's nice that you guys come out there and check on everybody, you know.
And we live here in Lee Summit, so we're dedicated to the patients here and also the city too. I mean, we used to live on the other side of the city, so
Now you have to open.
we're really local.
Right.
Which is you know, I feel like we both feel like we're accountable because this is where we
So
live.
now you have those, you're going to open one in Warrensburg now, right?
She really wants to
Right next door.
Yeah.
Right
Right
next
at your house.
Because for some odd reason, they're now starting to dig. I don't know what
They're
they're
just
digging,
starting.
but I won't go there.
Well.
And they're going to be in Warrensburg.
Sounds like you know a guy. So
Yeah, we live here now. We raised our children here, and but I'm actually from Waldo, which I didn't even realize the house I was born in was actually in Waldo, and so it was like it's on the edge of it. But I grew up in the same house my dad did in Waldo, so I mean I'm from there and from here, so it's so it's
We can care about what
it's
goes
good.
on.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
she was, I guess, I was destined because she lived in California. Yeah. So, I mean, we can talk about California all day long.
That's right. It worked out.
Yeah, and
Immediate
some of her
connection.
people that work here. From
Yeah, California, the whole crew's been in California, right? I was in California for 7 years.
Well, we owe a lot to California
And we
now.
all came back.
So see,
Now, everybody, I'm going to jump in here. Be sure somebody jump in and tag Brenda. Okay, because we got the giveaway going on. We got some gift certificates to throw down with. Okay, so
Well, I never
that's how you get it. Well, somebody tag her. She'll get entered. Maybe she'll win tonight. All right. But we do have another guest. I'm going to bring Shone out. Brenda, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It was a real pleasure, and I'm glad you gave us the real scoop. Because I don't know if we'd
yeah,
heard
you
about
got to
all
watch them now.
We are. We definitely are. Well, appreciate.
But you know what they do also? This stuff is like wine.
That's right. I love it.
When they go to give it to you, they open it up and they present it to you and they show you what you're getting.
Sommelier. Love it.
Because that's the best way to do it.
Love it. I love
And
it.
you don't
Thank
get
you
stems,
so
you
much.
don't get seeds.
Only the best for Brenda. That's right.
Thank you.
You did amazing. You did amazing. So, and tell me more about the local connections. I mean, you know, I know I was a denied applicant, right? I made plans, community programs, that sort of thing. Is that something that you have looked into? Do you have things in mind already in motion? Oh yeah, oh goodness.
Yeah, no, I mean, we had all kinds of things planned because the licensing came out in January, and right when COVID came around to Missouri, I mean, I got sick on March, I don't even know, 14th, 15th, something like that. So, I mean, I saw all of that happen, and all during that time was when we had planned after we got our license to try and, you know, destigmatize some and introduce the communities to medical marijuana and just, you know, and go to the businesses around us. And then COVID happened. So, you know, and it's still happening. So we can't even do like a big, you know, organized thing with the community and sort of gather everybody and you know, have a discussion right now. So it's been a little bit more difficult. And I think we got also a little busier here than we thought maybe we were going to be. I
didn't think we would be the only ones on the western side.
Right. I mean, we
were
thought there
trying
would
to
be,
but we didn't think it was actually going to occur.
yeah, right in
got
the
a little
beginning
busy.
we didn't. So yeah, so, but yeah, with COVID, so I'm hoping that, you know, when that all gets a little better and we can all, more of us congregate together, we can have that and, you know, maybe have some smaller community gatherings too and talk to people. So yeah.
We pledged in our application to do so to give a certain amount back to the community as well, to Lee Summit. Now I know that they're talking, and you know, if their adult use comes in, there'll be an additional tax that will be able to go to local governments and state governments. So, and not just the Veterans Fund. So that will change that. But presently, they don't. Lee Summit, for example, doesn't benefit at all other than the sales tax.
Sure.
But the standard sales tax, just like we were any other store, we're just a successful store. So it's a little less for them than it really should be. I think it's so we're giving a percentage of our profits back at the end of each year, which for whatever programs, either whoever we give it to, Parks Department, Police Department, Fire Department, whoever it is. Yeah, but it's good. But we're
That's right.
there's Jonah.
We're going to talk more about that here in just a minute. Shona, thank you so much for joining us as well. Are you local here? Yes, you are. Very close. Oh, wow, that's amazing. So you guys are almost literally neighbors at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
We've come to know each other in a very short period of time.
Good. When was the first time you came?
Shona's a cake baker.
Yeah,
We had Brenda
do the
bake
cakes.
cookies. She brought cakes.
So if I feel that someone is doing something for the community and not just for themselves, then we present them with this just really badass cake. Nobody usually knows where it comes from. We slide in, slide out, but it's just because you get your information. All you have to do is just apply yourself like I did. I didn't know where to go to because like she is, I'm a fentanyl patient, I'm on other medications and I went off. Well, where do you get the information? How do you even start? That's how I started, right there. Sure. And then anytime they have anything coming in or whatever, I'll know real quick like that it's gonna be here on certain date, certain time, and I ain't had a problem.
I love it.
So,
What did you think that first time coming in? Were you nervous?
no, I was ecstatic.
Yeah, pumping the
in
fist.
I was in the
You were even there
newspaper.
the week before, week or two before,
Yeah,
at least that we were even open.
Yeah.
So she'd been in it before it was even running.
You're scouting it out, making sure
Well,
everything
I
was good.
can't stand for very long because I have spinal mendosis. Well, common sense tells you you're just going to have a line, regardless of what the situation was. So I came in and spoke to them. I'm like, what do you do for patients that is not going to be able to stand in the line? You got wheelchair patients. I have 8 people in my family with muscular dystrophy, so that I always make sure there's a ramp, there's a way in. If not, I say, hey, we need to make sure this is covered before it's not. And I've had no problem. Everything that I've had a problem with, I come to them and I get an answer just very shortly afterwards.
Awesome, and that's part.
And
There's,
it's local.
there's that pain opening up, right? There's all the little things that.
Well, they didn't have to come back to here. They did not have to take that step to come into Lee Summit.
Sure.
And they did, and it's for the better.
Right. And do you know quite a few folks here who frequent Fresh Green as well? Yeah.
I know them all, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's a lot of people, and there's still a lot of people that are afraid.
Sure.
And like I just spoke with my doctor about, let's start tapering off this fentanyl. And she says, okay, well then that's the whole purpose, right? And I said, well, yes it is. Her reply to me was, I wish I would have got into it before now. And I replied to her, it's not too late. There's a lot more out there. There's a lot more to come. I've been in other states but when I did step in here for the first time, I felt free.
Good.
I felt free.
That's
I felt
awesome.
they was nobody gonna do nothing to me. They're not gonna shake me down. They're not gonna
It's
pull me
finally
out.
real, right?
It is a real thing,
Yeah.
and there's only better things to come.
Yep, you bet. I agree with that, especially once things really get into motion. It's
yeah.
going to be nice to see the shelves full and see plenty of selection,
It's
right?
nice to see the shelves.
Lights on, something.
Exactly.
That's pretty great.
And then we've already went down and checked out the other location, and it's coming up. The light is real bright at night, and you can see on the block that you
you go.
couldn't see on. So I think it's going to be a really good thing.
Good.
I know this is.
Right.
And there's another dispensary up in town, They got their own people, and I mean, there's no clash. Everybody is for everybody.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
We
that's
stick
the way it
together
should
here
be.
in this town.
Definitely have your favorites. You got your group that you groove with.
Right.
But it's all love.
Well, it also makes sure, you get the information from one before you get it from the other one. You know where you're going before you even leave your house.
Sure.
I know where I'm going and what I'm going. It's like I don't need to. I know what I'm coming for.
Right.
They tell me before I get here what it is. It's like if a text comes in the middle of the night, you're like, oh, that's a good one there. I better check that out.
Yeah, I'm curious. You know quite a few folks in town who are patients and come here. What's sort of the average age group? Are they older folks, younger folks that come in?
It's all different
All
ages.
over?
Oh yeah, you've got them from 21 that's very educated and know what they're doing. But then you got the old school folks that really know what they're doing, and they're the ones sitting back and thinking, okay, they can wait in line. I'll wait my time. And, because a little of this does one of those a long ways. You're not going home and putting it in a blunt and smoking the whole thing.
Right. You don't have to.
You don't have to. You're wasting your high. You're chasing something you're not going to get.
I think our oldest patient that I know of, I haven't looked in a little while, but she was 87, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, I'm
But she'd
sure.
never smoked. She'd never smoked. She'd never used marijuana ever. And her
bad word.
kids thought that she would benefit from it because she wanted to. It was before Thanksgiving. She wanted to bake pies, and her arthritis wasn't allowing her to because she did it every year. And her kids thought this would be an option for her, and they don't use it either. So she came in here, and I was surprised too at the number of people that come in that are first-time users. I do say, and I don't, guys that work for me too, I talk to them about it. People don't always want to admit that, so they'll come in and they'll buy, and they'll seem like they've done this before, like they're not knowing what they're doing. And sometimes they'd say something, and our salespeople would say, "Is this your first time? Are you new to this?" And they'd say yes, and do you know how you're going to consume this when you get home? No. And so it's we've had to do a lot of education in that, and I knew there'd be some, but I was surprised at the number of people that
Really?
and they are most of them are
And who are
embarrassed
open
about
to it,
that.
too.
I think
We're just
they're
out
open
It's
there.
to
probably
it, but
increasing over time.
yeah.
We haven't had John Knox for 40 years for nothing. Those people grew up here just like we did.
Right.
We all graduated from the same school. They all know each other, and they know each other's game. And if they're, Granny, you don't ask your grandmother those things. You don't ask your mama those things either. It ain't none of your business.
That's right.
But I think it's a plus, and I think it's way overdue.
Yeah. Good. And has it been a good experience for you being able to try different products that you've never had access to before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the edibles and all that. I mean, is
Concentrates
it
is where it's
recently?
going to have to come in, so they can make the difference between the strength in the flower. That's got to build. That's going to come in time. It had to start from nothing, dirt. So it's going to take a little time, and then your growers are new too. So it's going to take a little minute, but when the concentrates come in, and then I really think when the CBD oils and stuff come in like that, that's going to go crazy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because for aches and pains and sleep and all of that, just wait.
Yeah. Trust me, for pain, I'm a home cultivator, so I'm already making my own one-to-one THC CBD concoctions, and even in my smokables, and that combination. If you haven't tried it, folks, you should try that. Medical patients only, legal consumption.
That's what I need to learn more about, because I've always concentrated on the THC, but I'm thinking I don't need that. I might want to know a little bit more about that CBD, because I'm missing something.
And the important part, and Lee will tell you, and
Both of them is what you need.
Yeah.
you need both of them, and
I
you have
really
to
believe that.
you have to take them at the same time and the same way. So you smoke them both together, or you take them both in a tincture together, but it has to be, you can't mix them up, okay? But they'll educate you, and that's going to be the beauty. When the additional products start hitting the shelves, you'll be able to experiment, and now you've got your own personal guides, right?
Oh, I've had them. Wow.
Joan is one that has our mobile phones. So
That's what I said.
any time of day.
Gave out your mobile phone.
Brenda
I
too.
cannot
Brenda
get
says
it
I'm coming up.
over the
Text me
top.
on
Oh
That's
yeah,
over
we
the
did.
top.
He's
Yeah.
got his little Get smartphone. You
Yeah,
can
when I have my Apple Watch on.
Oh, here she comes. Let's hide. Let's
Yeah.
hide. Showing us good.
No, they're like, has she got cake?
Yeah, she brought any baked anything.
What are we eating today?
I love it.
So, but yeah, I think that it's a good thing. There's multiple people out there really trying. What really gets my goat is when you're on a podcast, say like tonight, you have people to tag each other's names. Then you got a Joe Blow coming in here from California saying, hey, DM me. And as soon as you do,
Oh, really?
you can buy anything you want.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, where are you at? Oh, I'm in California. Oh, I'm in Kansas City. I ain't trying
That's
to catch
right.
a Fed charge on
No,
here.
be careful, folks.
And
They'll
it's, I mean, they straight out will
careful.
tell you. And it is, so you do need to be careful on the podcast.
Yeah.
If someone comes on there and says, DM me, it's not these guys.
Yeah.
It's none of them.
No.
It really is not. And it does happen. And I caught it on Evolution's page.
Yeah.
And he went right in and was like, no. Yeah,
Yep.
that ain't going to
Not-
happen.
Not good. Not cool.
But then they
Be
make
sure to
up a new
report it.
name and start over again. So,
You're right.
but we'll
You're right.
watch for them and get
Yeah,
them.
be very careful out there. That's a great point. Granny will watch out for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, they call me Big Mama for nothing. The feds don't knock on your door; they come through your window. You know,
Right.
we don't want
It comes
nothing.
crashing down.
We want
No.
nothing to do with that. There's no sense in it.
No.
It's
Yeah.
legal.
No.
Get your card. You know, grow your own.
Yep.
If you can't figure out how to do it, come to the people that know how,
Right.
and they are in the show me state.
Yep. Yeah, and I noticed they had one of our members something set up for Happy Rock and some of the products over there. Do you get a lot of interest in that? You know, and people saying, "Well, I'm trying to grow at home," and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we're supportive of whatever
sure.
the patients who come in, and there's a lot of interest in it. There are a lot of them that are growing, and
We're working on the seeds. right
yeah,
now,
we're
getting
working
some
on getting
seeds.
seeds from
So
the
I
that'll
think
be-
Very
everybody's
cool.
trying to get
Yeah.
seeds
Yeah,
though. So
I think we'll have them pretty shortly here, from what I
Really?
understand. Yeah, so I'm
That's
really
great.
excited about that.
Great news.
Yeah, we're hoping to
yeah.
get someone to come in. I haven't had someone yet who comes in and says, I want a setup, and then we'll get with Happy Rock and, get them.
Sure.
Yeah,
However they
because
work.
right now we
ready.
just send them there, but yeah, so it's, I don't know, it's I have a lot of interest of people though, text, messaging, emails, whatever, everybody wants clones. And I do, it's not in the rules right now.
We would like to be able to
But
sell
there
them.
are people that really, they're worried they're not going to be able to grow from a seed, things like that, and they would rather start with a clone for whatever reason. Yeah, so
Which is
I
no
think that'll be
reason
great once
you
that
should-
comes.
There's no THC in the clone either, right?
No, and
do you know if it goes legal? Will they
we're gonna
just
come back to that.
will it just go
Jeez.
like if it goes legal in 2022?
Oh, the
Will
adult
it be
use?
to where you can just buy and grow and
So there's a little bit, I mean, it's a definition issue at this point, and you can jump in and correct me at any time, but, so right now they have a very, very tight view of what means manufacturing in the terms of pre-rolls.
Which is,
Okay.
that's
Find that out
hopefully
real
is
quick,
going to be
like.
fixed.
Good.
I can tell you that.
It should be
We're-
fixed, and they also have a very tight view of what means cultivation. So just keeping these little clones watered here in the dispensary until somebody comes to get them constitutes full-on cultivation, apparently. So, and you can't cultivate in a dispensary without the anyway. So it's a definitional thing
Yeah.
at this point. So I don't know. Even if adult use passes, if the definitions are still ambiguous, then it could be, because
Yeah.
then the state can just do.
so how do we change those laws before they write them?
We're changing some of them. We're trying to change
I mean,
some of them.
seriously, that's a kind of
we'll
hard way
try
to
to
say
get
it.
that
but
way whenever the initiative comes up again. It was because it was killed by COVID on the initiative drive. But when it comes up, one of the goals I know is to try. I'm a lawyer also. By the way, Bianca is also.
Sometimes
but
that's good,
one
sometimes
one of
not.
the goals is to try to learn from this past one medical and see if we can't
You bet. And so what I
tweak
was,
with
I was
those
right
that
I
silly
guess I should form it.
manufacturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hand
Yeah,
it right
it's-
back to them.
I see
it's something.
the RSO question. If you want, I'll answer
jump
that.
in.
So here's the thing. Yeah. So it said the question is, when will there be RSO? And as a dispensary, like you were saying, very tight idea of manufacturing. They call us making a pre-roll manufacturing. So we can do nothing here, although I do, as a lawyer, think that there is some leeway in the rules to do the non-dangerous chemical stuff, but the ruling is now we don't, so we don't. But we have asked manufacturers, to work on RSO. Also, some of the concentrates, something that can help more of the patients who are in serious pain and need a little more than that can need to go to the concentrates. We're wanting that. The problem, I think, goes all the way back to basically the shortage of flour now. You don't have flour, you don't have trim, you don't get to extract it, you don't get to make the product, So we'd love to. We'd love to have RSO right now. Yes, we'll take them all now. We've asked for them, but we're a little bit at the mercy of the system.
There's a few manufacturers that I've talked to that they're definitely planning on it, and some of them sooner and some of them later. So some of them, and I think some will come in and try and meet the needs that aren't being met, and then sort of, go back to what there already is, but try and, if these things aren't being made, maybe we start trying to make them first, you know what I mean? So that patients will have everything at some point sooner than later. So I think that's, I just think the shortage of flour is really where it's going to come. I mean, if there was more flour, and then they could kind of, I think if you take the patients that we have, so our average age, the last time that I ran the numbers, something like end of December, it's always hovered right around like 51, 52, 53. And then the reasons that they come is pretty varied also. Most of them, pain is what we hear the most, pain and sleep, but for many, many other reasons. And I think if you ask those people, the thing that could help them most, and most of them use flour, but then we have quite a few patients that can't smoke. They don't want to smoke, but I'm talking about really the ones that can't. So then they need, those items, and then RSO can help so many patients, whether they can smoke or not. And I think the manufacturers just look at that, though. They look at, well, what's going to help the most people, and then go down. And I think sometimes people put RSO in sort of a small box, that only a few people are really going to benefit from this. And I think people sometimes don't, and I don't even know everything. I just started to learn about it, recently, and that it can help many more people than they think. And so I think that message is getting to the manufacturers, but it all, again, with the flour shortage, I mean, we don't even have enough to, keep people into it that want,
It'll get better over it's going to be a drastic change over the next 6 months, because you've got people like Glass House out on the east. You have people like Greenlight here, who have big grow operations. You have like Illicit Cannabis or Illicit Gardens, who's the sponsor here, who we just got yesterday, and Bravo for their flour. They're right up the street here. It doesn't get any more local than them. Right on the other side of the I-70 up 291. Right. And it'll get better. And now that they've got the indoors online, because I spoke to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago who had his indoor was up and going. He had 21,000 plants and veg. So it's gonna roll out. Yeah. It's gonna wave out and come quickly. And Illicit Gardens is just starting, but it's not going to be like that first outdoor harvest we had where we were living off of that. They're going to come every 2 weeks. Right. And we're rolling through those rooms, so it's going to just build, and I think that will, in turn, that's going to up the quality for the patients way up. Sure. Because there'll be competition. It's always good for the consumer, right?
Yes. And it'll be great because we've built a good relationship with Soul House and Archimedes already, so we have them, and I think it's, we've got good relationships with a few good growers, and I think, we're going to be able to soon. It's going to take a few months, but really have a good core group of growers that, they have supply issues, but not that much. I mean, they can fully support, some dispensaries and get to manufacturing. And I think it's just, there's quite a few that have gotten approved to, cultivate.
they're
I mean,
real
somewhat recently. So there's
locals, too.
quite a few. It's just now they've got to go through
like
those few months.
Archimedes, Greg and Aaron Moore and Haley and Bonnie out there they're really, they're Missourians. They're real Missourians. We're here, are real Missourians. There's no mystery about, who's pulling the strings behind us. It's here it is. So, and then Nate Ruby up at OXG, which is Illicit Gardens, we're real local people. Like, you could actually identify us and see what we look like and who we are, as opposed to some, I don't know, maybe cloudy about Iowa. But I'll tell you, there's a good core group of people that I know who we are real Missourians who got licenses, who are
going to be around for the long haul.
Yeah.
And
They're not going no place.
Does that make you feel comfortable? Does that make you feel good about going to a store as well? No?
Oh yeah, I know right where it is, right how to get here. Even if I broke down, I could still make it. I can hop a ride home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Call her mom if they're misbehaving.
We'll go get her. We'll go get you.
We would make it, and I only see it as a plus. I'm sorry. There's people out here that doesn't, they just might need to try a little bit themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
And you don't gotta go smoke a joint or nothing like that. Drink a cup of tea, I do. I use my honey and.
And it's important for us to get those good stories out there. As much as we talk about here, we really need to talk to the folks around us.
I do my own
get the good stories
baking.
out. You do your own baking. I mean, do you know somebody else? I mean, can you tell me a story about how you've seen medical cannabis help somebody near you? I mean, in terms of their symptoms
Well,
or quality
like
of
I
life?
said, there's 8 people in my family with muscular dystrophy. So we owned a wheelchair transportation company, and we did all the VA patients for over 25 years. So it wasn't legal, but they were Vietnam vets, and they did smoke, and it made a difference in their life. It made a difference for them being able to live on a day-to-day basis, or either be bunkered down in their backyard watching for something to happen.
Right.
That's a big difference in someone. And I'm working with a man now. He's homeless. He's from Lee Summit. He was failed by the system. And they said, you got to take these psychiatric, you're schizophrenic. You got to take these or we're not going to help you get housing. I said, okay. So I came on up and I said, I got a patient. I'm going to need to get a card. And so then I reported back to them. I said, he now is going to get his card and he will be using Cannabis-y. Awesome. They immediately started looking for housing for him. Been on the street since March of last year.
That's amazing.
They can't do nothing about it. They didn't like it.
Right.
But they said, we're going to have to go to somebody else with that. I said, go ahead.
Right.
But you need to find his housing.
Right.
So that's exactly what it was, because he refused to take psych meds because it makes him not feel right, even though he's not right anyway, but it does something to the body. And he would rather live on the streets than to take these medications that make him sick. And then he can come across a friend, he can get his little whatever he gets. Perfect person.
Right. Makes him feel normal.
It's the difference
Just wants to
between
be
night
normal.
and day. And he's schizophrenic with agoraphobia, which he's scared of people.
Right.
So he ain't got
I
much
don't-
of
I
a
don't-
choice.
I don't blame him. People are scary sometimes.
Yeah, so, but it made the difference, and he's now going to be eligible for stuff he was not eligible for because he wouldn't take the psych meds. But
No,
now
that's a
that
good
they cannot say that he's not taking medication because he is being medicated through the Cannabis-y.
I love it. You heard it, folks.
It's
You
happening.
heard it. Showing us telling us how it's going down. And I think you're right. You're spot on. Pretty much all the commentary. What do you think? Should we take a break? Maybe come back and powwow a little bit more? All right, Shona. Thanks so much. Remember,
Nice to meet you.
Tag a friend. Tag Shona over here. Get her a gift certificate maybe out of that drawing. And I don't know. You have a good evening, Clay.
I'll let you take us a break.
All right.
Reminder, tag a friend, and then we're going to go to commercial.
Good deal. We're going to take about 10 minutes or so for a break. Stick around, though. Message from our Canna Convict friends. We'll get an update, see what's going on with them, and we'll come back for a little more conversation.
All right.
Hey guys, Chris and Christine with the Canna Convict Project. Hope you're enjoying the show there at Fresh Green. We love those guys.
We want to start out our update this week by saying congratulations to all of the cannabis POWs throughout the nation who were granted clemency or had their sentence commuted yesterday.
There have been a number of them over the past couple weeks. I believe there was 13 or so here in the last couple days. Congratulations to Craig Cecil for finally getting your ankle monitor off. I know you're in prison for a long time. You've been out for a while, but now you're finally free. Congratulations to Corvain Cooper, Jimmy Romans, Michael Peltier, John Knock, Amy Kondo, Weldon Angelos, Lynn Barney, Jonathan Braun, Anthony DeJohn, Noah Kleinman, Wei Kuo Long, Farrell Scott, Brian Simmons. And congratulations, guys. This is so awesome. This is a huge step, but there's a lot more work to do. There's a lot more people still sitting behind bars, and we need to get them out. So let's keep working hard.
So public support works, guys. A lot of these individuals had a lot of public push behind them, and they had it for a lot of years. So we still need to band together and help support those who are still awaiting such a wonderful gift to be given to them. So keep watching our page, watch other advocacy group pages, support all of these POWs. No one belongs in jail for a plant. Next, we want to talk about, we've got an article coming up about one of our POWs. He's on the state side, not federal side, and that's Trevor Saller. So we'll have that article published in the Evolution magazine, either in the March or April issue, so keep your eye out on that. We are also almost done with our website, so that should be up and running very soon. So we're very excited for everyone to go and check that out.
CannaConvictProject.com.
Yes. We also want to say thank you to Rob and Bianca for all that you have done for the community. We know that you guys have put forth a great effort to help those who are low income, veterans, just pretty much anyone that is in need. You find a way to help them, and we're so grateful for that. And we need all of the other dispensaries to really do that as well, because there's a great need of medicine out there, and people just can't necessarily afford it all the time. And so finding solutions that can help them get access to that medicine is of the utmost importance, and we need to make that a top tier priority.
About a month ago, we had received information that Rob and Bianca at Fresh Green KC there in Lee's Summit had donated over $125,000 towards veterans and towards low-income families, and they're really trying to help people out. We hope the rest of the dispensaries and everybody can really follow suit and do exactly the type of stuff that they're doing. So we really appreciate you guys. You guys are just one of the very few dispensaries in the state of Missouri that's actually completely Missouri homegrown. So we love you guys.
Well, we hope you enjoy the rest of the show. And as you can see with Chris's attire, go Chiefs on Sunday.
Go Chiefs.
Let's bring home that win.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Bye, guys.
Hello, Missouri cannabis friends and family, Evolution, Missouri patients. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode number 31 of the Home Grow series, and boy, what a show do we have for you tonight.
We are a community in crisis. You know, the veteran community that I just came into after 2.5 years ago is in crisis. We have significantly elevated levels of suicide. We all know the number of at least 22 veterans per day are choosing to take their own life. At least 10 more are overdosing on opioid medications on a daily basis.
22 a day is such a number that we're not even losing that many at war.
And when I found that the U.S. government has a patent, 6630507, that shows cannabinoids, that says we believe cannabinoids have great potential as an anti-inflammatory, as an antioxidant, and a neuroprotectant. I thought, well, why aren't we using this, right? We have soldiers coming out of combat with traumatic brain injuries regularly. And it affects your life significantly, yeah, and Chris is one of them. We have veterans who are unemployed and homeless, and we believe that the re-legalization of cannabis and hemp may be able to address a number of these issues.
37 states, that's more than half, are in open rebellion with the U.S. government because the U.S. government refuses to reschedule marijuana from Schedule 1 to a researchable Schedule 2 status. And for those of you that don't know what Schedule 1 is, it's addictive and it has no medical benefit.
I did not realize the benefits that came from cannabis. I started exploring the topic and learning about it, and I had the opportunity to enter into the practice of using cannabinoids, and I was absolutely blown away. But instead of the tic-tac box of medicines that people are carrying in a suitcase around with them, they could eliminate over half those medications and reduce the amount that they were having to take and make them work better by using cannabis in addition to those particular therapies.
And I do believe that the value of cannabis is getting more proven every day. I thought it was interesting that now I'm over the second advocate when 15 years ago I would have been that guy that was probably taking stripes off of people or whatever else for the problems with substance abuse. So I believe that we need to look at the research and trust the science and trust the people that are out there today. And I've seen firsthand what marijuana can do. I believe that cannabis and marijuana is a tool that we have long ignored and misunderstood. It needs to be brought to bear.
I'm here to support the veterans to receive benefits that are less intrusive and less damaging to the body. But I've treated a lot of people that even when I was a commanding officer, I took them aside and asked them, because I suspected, and it wasn't because they were acting funny or they were not in control. It's just they seem to have a little better stamina and a little bit better ability to deal with problems and deal with their health issues. I was a policeman. I saw stuff on the street. I arrested people for having it in possession. And a paramedic, EMT, firefighter. I retired as a captain on the fire department. All of that experience brought me to realize that we're wrong and that we need, to take care of the veterans without putting them in harm's way of other worse drugs.
If we can get the DOD to come out, will you join us in the conversation?
Come and kick their butt.
Thank you, sir. We could be the global leader in medical cannabis research. We could lead the way in a revolution in medical affairs. I am asking the DOD directly to show bold, courageous leadership, right? To really, instead of fighting our last wars, let's fight our future wars. Let's forward and create what I believe could be a revolution in medical affairs.
This is a call to action for research on this plant. As a veteran and a medic and a combat medic, we want this plant researched for what it can do for our veteran community.
Previously on the Evolution Magazine's Home Grow series.
We're here at Happy Rock Farms shooting live on Main Street in Kansas City, and tonight we have the largest studio audience here that we've ever had before. Can I get a little applause from the audience out there?
You just shake it out, and then you take it using your Happy Rock Farms business card.
Wow, they're looking great. The next day they're looking not so great, and you're going, we haven't been spending enough quality time together, have we, dear?
When you go to actually extract the trichomes off the plant, you're going to use a specific micron screen, and that screen is going to allow the best and the most sought after trichome off the plant.
And I'm going to sign it live for all of you. I'll lean down the computer. I'll make sure I'm stuck. This is the type of signing statement we need more of, all right?
What you're going to want to get is obviously some plant material. Industrial hemp is what we have here.
That's going to be like 5 plants in one seed, I'm pretty sure.
That's how easy it is to make tea.
Hold on a second.
Okay, I'm getting excited. Rally towel. I'll bring your game.
Bring your game, because we got the A++ game here in Kansas City, so. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around through the break there. We're going to pitch it back over here to Eric and Rob and Bianca. Real quick though, if you guys have any questions, this is an interactive show. Please comment, please question, tag a friend to enter you both in the drawing to win a free gift card to Fresh Green. And take it away, Eric.
Hey, appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around with us. We're going to hang out for a little bit longer, and no real agenda tonight. I didn't bring any notes. I just wanted to rap a little bit, talk about a few things. Here with Rob and Bianca Sullivan, Fresh Green. Already loving this place. First trip for me, mid-Missouri. Good feeling. We talked with some amazing customers earlier, some patients who are really getting what they need from you. And I got to ask, is from your staff's perspective and your own, I mean, does that really just make you smile when you go to sleep at night? Is that's what it's all about?
It's great. The staff loves it. I mean, the staff. We lucked out on the staff. I mean, we found guys they're real experienced, and we basically hired them on. They did happen to also have a lot of experience, but did we like them? When we talked to them for a half hour, did we feel good? And we made a right choice. And our 21-year-old son, he turned 21 within a month to be old enough to work in here. Wow. And he's always been very compassionate, and he gets a lot of compliments from patients about, thanks for the maturity of your son and listening to my problems and helping me out as best he could. And those are proud moments that we help people, and that sure. I guess we did something right. I keep saying the things we did wrong.
That's right. That's been really great, because we do. We get people, sometimes employee will come back and get me, and they'll be like, we have this customer that wants to talk to you. I said, is it bad or good? They say, I don't know. And I come out here and they're like, we just wanted to tell you how great he was. And, we were nervous coming in, or we didn't know what we wanted, or even if they did, they just want to tell you how great they were. And that really means a lot to me, because that's really what I wanted, and you hear people go somewhere else, like even in another state, and say, well, I don't think they cared about me. And I said, well, in other states too. Once it gets to be so big and there's big companies, and that's inevitable, but I just want to make sure we weren't like that. And so, yeah, like he said, we really did luck out on the staff, because they love the patients love them, they're educated, and they're not, it's not like they went and just read a book, they actually, sure. I think most of them are, a good amount of them are growers, cultivators,
And the main thing is, like, the way it the reason it looks the way it looks, and the same was true as when we were in the law firm, and it looks different than other dispensaries, right? Because I think it looks comfortable. You feel good. There's nice color. You feel, it's warm. It's at home. It's not clinical. And it's welcoming. And one of the things that we get a lot of compliments on is the bud tenders. When it's someone's turn, they come to the door, they call the name, and they take them in, walk them through, talk to them about what they want, and show them what they need before they go up, and then get the actual products from behind the counter. So there's a lot of personal interaction, and that honestly is the biggest compliment that we get about the bud tenders, is that personal connection, as opposed to just a person comes in and comes behind a counter, and there's another person behind the counter. It's very clinical. I thought the most important thing about it was not what color it was, whether it actually looked like a pharmacy or hospital, or whether people felt welcome. Right. So I tried to do it so people would feel at ease and welcome.
And I know too, like Lee has worked with you guys some, and I think she's gone. she was here. So I think it's great. We have her, and she hasn't been here as much. Now she's going to be here more. We've all had different things going on with COVID and kids at home and everything else. And she'll come in, and then if we have new people, or even not new people, they might, be lifetime users or whatever, but usually someone new who doesn't know what to do. They don't know what's best for them. They don't know anything about, they don't even know what a terpene is. And if she's here, she's able to help them from her point of view too. So, that's been really great, to have people, and then they can try something. If they don't like it, I tell them they can return it to me. I'll refund them, get them something else, and see what works for them. Because you don't want people to go home with that and then be unhappy,
Right.
especially if they've never used before. I mean, that's not good
Yeah, or
because
this $50
they're
is
not
really
going
important
to
for me.
exactly
And I'd
right
like to pick something
exactly.
else that doesn't work.
Especially
Yeah.
with the 8th. Now the 8th is the size. It'll be, at some point there'll be, I mean, we're setting up and we're actually being inspected by the state on Monday in the Waldo location, and that's set up even better for the deli style. So, you know,
We'll do
eventually
here
we'll
too.
sell a gram and you can try it. So you don't have to like go all in on an 8th
Sure.
and see how it is. But we work with it. Anyone who comes in and says, you know what, I tried this and it did this to me, it
Had
did
it
that
happen
to me, and
yesterday.
you can tell sometimes, okay, maybe the sativa, or maybe this terpene's not really for them, and we try and get them something else, but we'll refund it and give them something else, but it'll be better for everybody. When we start doing that gram, you can actually test 5, 6 different things without,
You
you know,
bet.
spending as much.
That's one of the things that's being worked on with the state then.
Yeah,
is-
we're set up to do it in Waldo, and we're set up to do it here. We have to make
Well, also by the
a couple of
cultivators.
tweaks, but the cultivators have been selling in like prepackaged 8ths.
Oh, I see.
Right.
So
right.
presently, so they're not selling in like a deli style, but
I see.
we're next few months it will
Okay.
be there for sure. And as we have, because when you have 20 strains, I mean, a minimum of an 8th is tough for people because how long is it going to take them to try it?
Sure.
Even if they want to try each one.
You bet. And for some users, that could actually
Right.
last a while.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a long time if you have
That's
to get an
right.
8th of every one of them.
That's
and go
right.
through.
And just for, educational purposes, can you explain deli style versus the
Okay.
current style?
So when I say, so now currently we have 1/8 ounces. Okay, so 3.5 gram containers. I don't know, it's maybe that much of that Coke can right there down. And it's pre-packaged, meaning when it comes out in the package to the customer with the label on it. We can take the cover off and show them and everything like that, but it's all a packaged unit. It is 3.5 grams and it's a certain price, and that's the way it is. Deli style is more like, just like you would at a deli counter. Like we have the bar here, jars of cannabis behind it, and people can look at the information, or they can be told about the information on the strains and say, well, I'd like to see what the purple chem, and you can take it down. And I'd like to see the lemon haze, and you can take it down and show it to them. They'd say, okay, once we've selected, where we think we're right, talking to them, you could get just an ounce. Well, why don't you try an ounce? And I mean a gram, sorry.
Gram.
An ounce.
I know.
Why don't you try 2-3 ounces? No, why don't you try a gram and see how it works? And if it doesn't work, we'll try something else.
Right.
Because and so that's the deli style.
Yeah.
Or you could have 5 grams, or you could have 8 grams, or you
5
could have
individual
11
grams.
Right.
Yeah, you have
Sampler pack
whatever you want.
style.
You can have
Yeah. Okay.
6.5 grams, which is no
Yeah.
set denomination, but you could have $42 worth.
Yeah.
Good.
And I
Yeah.
prefer that
By the
as,
way,
when I've gone
so-
to other states, I prefer that personally. So I was really, really wanting, that was a big push for me in this, is that I wanted to be able to do that. And people can see it too, and it's a lot, although it comes down to what works best for you, there could be 4 things that work best for you, and you want to see them and smell them, and to just see them in a little 1/8 jar is very different than seeing, a jar full of them. And you can get more of a sense of them, maybe a stronger smell, and try and, if you can narrow it down to a few, you can go more on something like that. So I think that's easier, and I think people just like it,
Yep, and that whole experimentation factor, you're more willing to kind of put it out there because a $15 gram isn't as big a deal as a $50 or $60 eighth.
Right.
And they're part of the process too. They're part of the process in seeing what they want, talking about what they want, selecting. Even with the deli style, I mean, they could say, well, what about that one there? Can I have that one? Which there's no reason why they can't. If it's the weight or whatever, that's fine. So people can really be selective like that. And I found that people like that when I'm in other places like that, and I like it.
Sure.
When I do that. And
I always feel a little more engaged.
and
too,
you feel
just-
the bud tender maybe does you a favor and gives you the good, the good stuff or whatever. And it's
right.
just, it comes back to the personal thing.
Yep.
It makes it all more personal.
Yep. Yep, no, that's true. And folks will walk in the door sometimes, know exactly what they want.
Right.
Yep.
In and out, off we go. But a lot of times, especially in this situation, because, let's face it, for years, folks who participated in the traditional market, we just get what they got.
Right.
Whatever they got.
Right.
That's that, and we
Yeah.
don't know anything about it,
Yeah.
but now we
Right.
can go to the deli. Come on, are you kidding me?
We've had some of that here. We had a patient come in who said, I want you to look at this and see if there's something wrong with this bud. And I'm like, oh no, what is it? What's draining?
Uh-oh.
It's like it's
Recall
not yours.
bells
They
going
said
off. Whoa, my
they said
goodness.
it's not yours. And I said, okay, so what's the problem? So I got it from a caretaker, and I said, okay. She said it was half the price from the caretaker. And then I said, well, what is it? And she said, I don't know. You know what strain it is? No. Do you know? Is it? And looking at it, smelling whatever, I think we narrowed it down that it was sativa, probably on the
Right.
sativa end. But she's like, well, can't you tell me more? Like, no, I mean, there's only so much. I mean, there's some strains that are very distinct looking, but if it's not one of them, we tried. I mean, we said we think it's sativa-ish leaning.
Yeah.
But that's what happens.
And that used your terpening right there, right?
Right. Yeah. And so we got that much of it. Yeah, the interpreting. And but I told her, I said, well, that's what, I mean, it is more expensive, but there is some reason why it's more. You get the testing behind it is one big thing. You know where it came from, and Missouri is very stringent testing. So the testing's behind it. So you always have that comfort level. You come in here, we're going to tell you what it is, and whether it passed the tests, and show you what terpenes, what percentage of, even though it's very small sometimes, even CBD or CBDA in there, and talk about all of it, and you know what you're getting. As opposed to getting something that you're not sure what type of, pesticides or things like that were used. So I think people patients, and I think that there are a lot of patients who the caretaker and grower is the perfect combination for. I think it's just important that they find the right match.
Yes, I think that's hugely everything. Not just the right match, but somebody who's going to be very clear with them, so I think everybody knows that we have a caregiver certification program, MCIA, and so we're very much, for example, we give folks, our caregivers, encourage them to give their patients a bill of rights, and one of those rights is that you get to know exactly what is being grown, how it's being grown, and basically any other question you can think to ask about it. Totally transparent. They have the right to know those things, and that's very important. So if you're in that situation, you don't know quite what you're getting from your caregiver, even if they're a caregiver, you can probably in this day, look around for folks who are legitimate caregivers. You've got a card, you have the right to that, and you have a right to high standards as well. So
and we'll be happy to help with that. I mean, Bianca's always said that I think she already has a list of a couple names of caregivers looking for patients and patients looking for caregivers, and if we speak to them and see what process they're using and talk to them and feel comfortable, then we'll do our best to hook people up with them.
Sure.
Because there's not really as easy a forum to do. I mean, I don't know what the actual forum, if you're going looking, really is.
Well, I've seen quite a few of them, and there aren't a lot of good ones out there necessarily. We as an association thought about putting it together, but more than anything, we want to create opportunities in the industry. So I'd like for other people to go do it and be good at it, focus on it and really excel. Safe Canna-Haven's out there, and they're on the very strict end. You get on their website and you have to show your driver's license. I mean, they go to the nth degree to make sure everything is legitimate, but otherwise it's kind of hit and miss. So I think education's one of our best tools. Teaching patients the questions to ask.
For sure.
When they engage with people, showing them, well, this is the kind of stuff you should expect.
They should know this, is what I tell them. They should have known it.
Here are some questions to ask, and we have some of those resources. MCIA does. So feel free to point them our direction
Yeah.
for that.
No, I get questions about that all the time. People say, well, how do I go about this? You know, what am I supposed to do? What do I ask the people? And then they don't want to ask too many questions because they think they're going to get turned away by a caregiver who doesn't want to, so yeah. It's,
Sure. Well, and that's it. I mean, I think that has to be okay.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people. If you're asking too many questions and they sketch out on you, then sayonara.
Yeah.
I mean, the bad news is there's a whole lot more patients than there are potential caregivers, because it does take a particular skill. But even so, with dispensaries opening up, I think you can afford to be choosy. No pun intended, seriously. And it's good that you're asking your local dispensaries, because they'll at least be able to give you some tips, network and tell you what to look for.
And I would hate to recommend someone who had a bad experience,
Yeah,
so it has to be someone really who, I have at least some measure of trust.
Yeah, that's right. And that's something else we're trying to build into our program, is sort of a self-policing community of certified caregivers. I ate my own dog food. I helped create the program. I went through, paid the test, paid the fees. I'm a certified caregiver. And, what I immediately figured out is that other people got certified. I'm like, well, now I got to protect my reputation by protecting the integrity of this certification.
Right.
So let's talk about this with new members, new certificates coming in. This is sort of our philosophy, and we want to bring people.
It's got to mean
and
something, right?
It has to mean something, for sure. And so, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I did want to point out for folks that, our certification does demonstrate a certain level of knowledge, terpenes, that sort of thing. One of your staff members helped write the exam. Lee did, in fact, which is super amazing. She's a gem. But if somebody were to come to you, and I know the customer service piece and the help and the coachability, all those intangibles really are higher in this particular type of position. But if they also come with that certified knowledge, do you think you'd give them a look?
Yeah, I think anytime somebody goes sort of above and beyond, I think it's great.
The real people have real knowledge is always helpful. I mean, I think I learn something, at least one thing every day from the guys who work in here, and sometimes from my 21-year-old.
Right.
So there's this, whatever knowledge, the more knowledge, as long as it's the, real knowledge.
Sure.
Not some of the baloney that's out floating around. Then,
you gotta get out
then it's always
check.
helpful. People skills and knowledge, and you've got the perfect combination for here, right?
Yeah.
And with medical, you have to be really careful with that too, because you never know what kind of patient's going to come in and what's what their condition is. Maybe it's just sometimes it can get, you really have to be accepting of everything, and I think that's that's not that easy to find. Like you said, we really lucked out on that. What they got to be able to deal with all kinds of walks of life, ages, huge age swings, they've never used before, they use all the time, and it's just such a
what it is, these guys are genuine. When they look at the person, they can tell that they really actually care, that there's something bothering them, are really trying to help them, not that they're just pretending to do that to get the sale. And I think that's what the difference is with our guys.
But even so, you got to understand where that line is in terms of, when are you going outside of counseling somebody about cannabis and then talking about health care.
Right, too far into
stuff like
don't
talk to your patients about their prescriptions. Just send them to their doctor, send them to their nurse. Lee's actually a nurse, right?
Lee is great for that aspect, because she is an RN, so she's a registered nurse.
Yep, that's good. Yeah, she can be a lot more confident, certainly.
We do have a consultant too, who's a pharmacist.
Oh, good.
Also,
Have a pharmacist,
so that
good.
if we get a specific question, he's not. When the Waldo store opens, I think he's going to start putting some regular sort of hours that he's there, where people could come in if they had a question on that.
Good.
But that's that different aspect of, he's been doing the best he can with what education there is out there, pharmaceutical and cannabis interaction, and he's trying to prepare himself to answer whatever he can.
Good. Yeah, and that's important because, we may not have access to the doctor we got certified with all the time.
Correct.
We may not, maybe we feel a disconnect there. Maybe what? Maybe there's all kinds of scenarios, but having somebody that you can refer them to and somebody you can depend on to
we
provide
get them on the
that.
phone.
This is medical advice, folks, and malpractice is a thing. So, we need qualified professionals to be able to talk about it, very learned folks. yeah. No, that's good. And so tell me a story. Now we had Shona on, right? We had Brenda. I still remember the names. Good, lovely ladies. Apart from them, tell me one other story that was just like it made your day.
Do you want me to tell that? I'll tell you a story about one patient that we have that was close to home for me, and we've really helped him, which is that made us all really happy. Even Bianca, my son, because we all saw my mother, who's passed away now, suffered for years and years at the end of her life with trigeminal neuralgia, which is the trigeminal nerve is the nerve that goes down your face here. And trigeminal neuralgia gets sort of lightning bolts of pain that will just grimace people's faces just randomly when they eat, and it gets worse and worse. They did several operations on her, nerve blocks, everything. They never could get rid of it. She died with that, not of that, but with that condition for the last, about probably 20 years of her life. She had that. And we had a gentleman come in here who said, I have bilateral trigeminal neuralgia. And I saw it in my mother, and I said, oh my gosh, you have it on both sides. Like, how do you exist? He says it's very difficult. And I said, what has worked for you? He said sativa. So we got him sativa. He said it kind of worked, but it was a sativa hybrid. And I said, well, hold on, let me see what I can do. I called our Archimedes and said, I need real sativa. I need like Durban poison. You got Durban poison? Yes. Within a couple of days, I had Durban poison here. And for him, he tried it. He said, it's a whole world of difference. He said, I still have it, but now I can function.
Right.
At least I can function. Before I couldn't function.
Feeling normal.
Yeah. And I kept some of that Durban poison. It's still in the system, and he comes in and measure out an eighth and give him but I still have a jar of it in there because I'm going to, and when I get some more, I'll replenish it so that I make sure I have it for him all the time. Yeah. And he sometimes, he gets a lot of discounts. Sometimes he can afford it. There are some weeks he can't afford it, but it'll all work out in the end. We put it, as long as we take it off of the limit, right. He's discounted to zero, I'd say half the time, and I'm happy to do it because I saw that disease for, face to face, and it's terrible. To be able to help him was a great thing. Even my son, who had much less contact with my mother because she was on the East Coast, just the times he knew her, he was touched by it just because he knows what she suffered through.
That's great, yeah, and especially in conditions like that where it's so debilitating. And whatever the function is, I'm no doctor, it's well known at this point, though it does treat pain. Something for some people, it really is just a panacea. It makes the world a difference. Doesn't work for everybody all the time for all things, but certainly it's a good story. Do you have a favorite as well?
Oh gosh,
so many.
Yeah, she told her Thanksgiving pie
I'm totally putting them on the spot.
You told your Thanksgiving pie story, your 87-year-old lady.
Yeah, that was. I think that's really.
That was her story.
I think that really. That was really the.
We have so many vets. What about the vets?
Stories.
There's so many vets who come in.
So many.
Because if you're a Vietnam vet, I think you have to be over 65 now, or at least 65, maybe. To have been a Vietnam vet, even if you were 18. Well, maybe 1975. Close, but anyway, pretty close. Most of them are. So we get a Vietnam vet. We have an over 65 10% off. We have 15% veteran, and you can stack them up to 25%. So a Vietnam veteran gets 25% off every time they walk in the door here. And we have had some of them who just said it's a life changer. Yeah. It's like saved my life in terms of stress and anxiety and things like that, and and just thanking us, which is that's always feels the best. Right?
That's true. It's true. That's part of that's the tip.
Yeah.
That's the tip on the payment. I love it. And do you think a large percentage of your patients are veterans, or?
Quite a lot, depending on who I see get that 25% discount. It's quite a few.
I'm always surprised though at the number of people. I mean, you think of a vet in a certain way, and we go through the discounts. And, I'm a vet. It's just it's much more. I mean, I'm really surprised.
There's a lot more vets than
it's been great.
But I'd say there's I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a greater percentage than I thought I was going to see. Same thing with a greater percentage of the actual people who have a real condition, a real pain that they're trying to focus on and treat. higher percentage of that than I expected to see, and just a higher percentage of people who really need help.
Yep.
So,
and that's probably true. I mean, from a logical standpoint, the people who really need it are going to be more likely and able to get through the doctor appointment. You know, I mean, I know some people are like, well, I don't, you know, I don't know if it's serious enough. I'm like, look, you've got a condition,
right?
You know, this is just opens your options. So why don't you give it a try?
How many strains are currently available?
In flower, there's 8.
7, 8. 8 different strains.
And 4 pre-rolls. So I mean, that would be more strains.
I think I can name them: Lemon Haze, Lemon Royale, Purple Chem, Gorilla Pie, San Fernando Valley Kush, Kansas City Kush, GMO Cookies, Gorilla Pie, and Diesel Train. So that's the 8 strains, and then we have GMO 1 gram pre-rolls, 1.5 gram pre-rolls. We have Lavender Jones pre-rolls, GG4 pre-rolls, Blue Dream pre-rolls, and we've got Wana gummies, Robots gummies. Might have a drink or two flying around back there. But they're pretty hard to find. They're pretty scarce, the drinks.
What do you think, folks?
But it's getting better.
Did he pass the quiz?
I got a lot of stuff. I say it 10 times a day out there.
I love it. I love it. And you know, do you think, you know, is it the edibles or the concentrates that are being asked for most?
The edibles. The people are grabbing we don't have that much of a limit. We have like a 3 edible and a drink is like our limit per purchase. It's not even a limit per person. They could come tomorrow and do it if they're still here, but they go off the shelf.
I mean, if we had concentrates, I don't know. I get a lot of people that really want concentrates
They need
because that's
concentrates,
that's what really helps them.
But a lot don't want to smoke. I mean, I don't inhale any smoke. Everything I do is either vapor or edible. I will if I'm in a situation, and that's what I have. But I tend to not even involve myself.
We have
in
a
smoke.
lot of patients that can't smoke. Yeah,
they may have a lung condition.
They literally can't smoke.
Yeah, or they live in an apartment,
they
or they have kids
they don't
at home.
own
They don't
their
want to be. So I
home,
mean,
or,
there's even more reasons than they can't, and just in the situation that they're in. So yeah, I think it's, I don't know, but a lot of people really are waiting for concentrates because it's just works for them better.
Especially with the vaporizers they have now for concentrates, for wax and stuff like that.
There's the question.
Okay.
Right away.
I think so.
Yes, please tell me.
So we have gummies and we have drinks. I know. Oh, right. When will vapes be available is the question. So we have had gummies, we have drinks. My understanding, because the manufacturer controls that, is that the next thing is vapes and vape carts.
Next product.
That they're experimenting. They have made some, and that's the next set of products that come out.
Because they're going through a phase of product development, right?
Right, exactly. They're going from scratch.
And a flower shortage, just like everybody else. So
a lot of what's
that's
normally made from trim and things like that is they're having to make from flour, which affects the cost too. It affects also the amount of material available to do it. But I understand that soon we will see some type of a vape pen or a disposable or a cartridge or something.
That's right. So the job is keep going to the dispensary and ask.
I change the message every day. By 9 a.m., don't kill me if it's 9:20, please. But I try to change the message every day in the morning to give the patients exactly what's in the store. Because there's always a lag with the website, there's a lag with the email, there's a lag with this. If you hear my voice on there saying I say it's Thursday, it's January 21st, this is what I have. This is in limited supply. This is what we're probably going to run out of quick.
We hope he's right on the date.
And I tried my best. But anyway, every day I put that in, and I'm stuck with it now because people really like it. I didn't mean it. It was like a stopgap measure, and then it just.
You just have to teach your son how to do it.
I know. I'm going to pass it on.
He's going to be out. He's going to be out next week for about a week.
Surgery.
I'm a little worried about that. I'm not doing it. I told him. I said you're going to have to find somebody.
I'm going to try not to take it back when I come back. Let it carry on with whoever carries it on.
Yeah.
Cut him some slack now.
You're going to be at home recovering.
I'll do it from the hospital bed. As long as I can speak, I'll tell them what's in here.
Yeah. We'll see. It'll be funny, but I don't know.
Well, I hope it's not too serious.
No, it's a shoulder replacement, so it's not a
serious surgery, but not
a life-threatening
right.
condition. It's
Yes.
a bad shoulder.
Yeah, for sure. He'll still be like this for a couple minutes, though. So.
Yeah, I think I'm going to could be 6 weeks in a sling, which is not.
I had a
fun
bankrupt
thought.
replacement myself.
Okay, there you go.
Are they going to be able to do it arthroscopically?
No. Full deal. Yep. I got a nice tattoo all the way through there. That's going to have to be redone after the scar tissue heals enough.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Part of the fun. Part of the fun. Well, best of luck on that. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about here tonight? Last chance is coming soon, folks. If you got questions, please let us have it. Anything at all. We just, didn't hear before the show that there were any sacred cows. So, ask a tough question. I don't mind. And what do you foresee in the future in terms of, the next 3-6 months in the industry generally and how it's going to affect the store? Talk about maybe prices
I don't really think that much will change. Not a huge in 3 months. We might have another manufacturer or two online. I think 6 months to a year, you're going to see a big difference because of the number of cultivators that are, that have their approvals now and they're starting to grow or they're going to be growing. Dispensaries, manufacturers. I think that definitely things, summertime, since some of the outdoor grows, I think that will expand things too. So I think it'll be great.
More product, the better. If it's the more choices.
Biomass.
And biomass. Yeah, we need for those manufacturers.
Yes. Yeah. So and hopefully, pandemic gets under control some, so we can start having some more like community events or even smaller ones. Even smaller ones we can't even have really a small one. So it's hopefully that will promote things better and so.
Okay. Well, I think of it the same way. People complain about the way the industry's going or whatever, but at the end of the day, for folks like yourself who've really, COVID was challenging. We could you could tell me stories for an hour about how that slowed you down and what you're doing and personally and all that sort of thing. Nobody wants to hear more COVID coverage. So, but despite that, it's folks like you that I really want to applaud, and I think everybody out there really needs to put a nod to, maybe critical of other things that are going on, but really I think it's important you've stuck to your promise. You said you get it done in a year, up and running. Here you are, doing the thing, making connections, building community with even despite COVID, the way it sounds like to me.
We didn't ever think we'd be first one out here. We just thought we'd go ahead and do it, do what we were doing, and it ended up that way. And I'm actually real glad to be able to be a part of the beginning of it, and so much more about people than I thought it would be.
Right. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's the best part. One of the most pleasant surprises that we've seen. I can't say enough. So we're going to go ahead and close us out this evening. Rob, Bianca, amazing. Thanks for having me. Hopefully, maybe I can come back in 3-6 months.
Sure.
Talk about what's
we'll do it from the Waldo, the other location.
I love it. I love it. Love working with these guys. Happy Rock Farms, our other sponsors. Great audio and video. It's an amazing time every time I come out and see the folks on this crew. Clay, what do you think?
I think it's awesome. I think it's been a really cool show. It's our first time to ever do one in a dispensary, and there was a little bit of learning curve with trying to get up and going with the customers. Just finishing up, but it's cool. It's awesome to have a new set. It's awesome to hear local people that are a part of the community that have been here way before cannabis was legal, and now here they are. Playing such a huge role in the community here in Lee Summit. So thank you, Rob and Bianca, for all you're doing for the community here. And then do you guys do like notifications on new products that are coming in, or where can people go?
They can sign up for the email list on the website, and whenever we have a significant new products coming, it goes out in an email blast. But like I said, that message after 9 a.m. every day is the key, because we don't open until 12. So it gives a buffer. If you call that, now I'm really putting myself on the line.
So you can get the email blast, you can call, you can get the voicemail. It's updated every day. So lots of new products going to be on the way here in probably the next 2 to 3 months. And then Eric, for people that are interested in maybe finding a patient caregiver or vice versa, where can they go to?
mocia.org/caregiver. Come check it out. I think it's a good program. It ties in a lot with everything that's going on, not just for actually becoming a caregiver, but gaining that knowledge so you can help other patients in some capacity, even if it's unofficial. Maybe it's an entryway into the industry. And even if you just want to join and become a member of MCIA to support programs like this, support shows like this, we love being a sponsor of the show. Come check us out, mocia.org as well.
Perfect. And then thanks again to James behind the computer over there with Level Up AV, and then Kat with Cat King Films behind the camera. Done like 40-something shows with these cats. No pun intended with these cats. And they're great to work with. And so if you guys have any kind of video, audio needs, reach out to them. We'll hook you up and get you in touch with them. But thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you. We're going to take a break next Thursday, but the following Thursday, we're going to be doing the Veterans on Cannabis show with Todd Scatini and Chris Wolfenberger. We have some really cool guests lined up that we'll announce here shortly. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.